GM.
Are we still down? Are we down from last week on Sonic? Drac, it can't be that bad.
No, I mean, we're still in this like same area of
how about multimillionaires?
Yeah, how about that? Are we in multimillionaire stage?
Yeah, we're not there quite yet, but hanging on here, still on Bitcoin, want to hold here. We had a little bit of a bounce like over the last, however many days, but I think there's still just a lot of like uncertainty in the market, and I think people are just kind of like still just sort of, I guess the best way to shout out to Eggs Protocol is, people are walking on eggshells right now. There's not enough confidence to like, people to like fully buy back in, but I don't think bears have honestly truly taken over. Same thing we're seeing here with S, like this is the daily, but we're kind of smacking on this resistance right here. We want to break through that, of course, but I still think there's just a good bit of uncertainty in the market. I think that we are seeing that, there's like people are kind of, I think, getting used to this tariff stuff. Some of the first waves of announcements, the market had a much worse like drawdown and then like harder to like work its way back up. We're seeing things kind of move a little faster here, but I do see sentiment on the timeline with, people I follow for analysis that a lot of people felt like, okay, we're still maybe going down. This was just like an oversold kind of bounce. Everything just got like sold so quickly. I still think that ultimately we just have to like navigate this territory before we're like truly back to moving up.
So you're thinking sideways, or you thinking down, Drac? Is that what you're getting at? I still think it's just a bounce on the way down. We're fucking snapping our head against the staircase.
I think we could see a little more pain, but I think for the most part, we're looking sideways. I think that's the difference between people, because of these tariff things. There's people that are just saying like, oh, we're like entering the bear market. And I still just think that's not, we're just looking at a lot of macro stuff, a lot of things happening at once that, aren't great for the markets.
So we're a battered housewife and Donald Trump is the house husband, and he's just battering us around. And while we're kind of used to it by now, we're still going to be quite jittery, huh? Is that what you're saying, Dracula?
That's a beautiful analogy
metaphor,
there.
Dude.
Yeah, beautiful.
Terrible metaphor.
But yeah, you could think of it that way. Yeah, I think that ultimately we're just going to be a little choppy, a little rangy. Over the weekend, once again, we talked about this on a previous episode where, in the face of all this, like Sonic has still performed very well, especially compared to other L1s. So, we're still seeing the TVL rising on chain, like every few days, it feels like we've hit a new milestone on TVL. So to me, that says that Sonic is still, ultimately performing pretty strongly against the market conditions. And to me, that says that when we do finally get to resume business and flip back bullish, that this thing's going to rip.
Definitely.
All the ingredients are there. Still like big protocols launching. We just had Pendle, we just had Aave, a lot going on. So I don't think that's going to stop. And once this macro does clear up a little bit, I think we're primed.
Yeah, I think especially for a new-ish network, Sonic has it all way more together. Excuse me. Than many other competitors at the time, or in a comparable amount of time. But yeah, I guess we are subject to the market forces as a whole, right?
Yeah.
All Elton says. People don't know what a real crash is. I don't know if he's saying that he's gonna cause one with his name being Fallout Zone. I don't know, dude. You might nuke us, bro.
He's turning on his villain text. But no, I mean, I agree. Zooming out, it's very true. It's like there was a lot of analysis for people anyway. Once we broke 100, most people were saying, expect a decent correction, probably down to 70s, 80s. So there's even an argument that this isn't even necessarily as like influenced by macro as some think. I tend to think it's probably like a mix of both. But yeah, I mean, you had people on this initial tariff crash, you had people comparing it to COVID, and it was like, brother, this is like an 18-20% correction on Bitcoin. This is not anything like COVID or the 08 crash. We are not anywhere near that territory. We are just having, corrections that were probably overdue. We noticed this around Christmas, like the holiday when we kind of first had some of this stuff going on, where I feel like the holiday correction we often get around Thanksgiving, early December, that was kind of like overdue. So I think we're just kind of lagging here. So yeah, I've said it before that I'm definitely not scared yet. I mean, I think
if we're thinking it's like kind of a range here, we're ranging for a little bit. What would you look for as a sign that we're like moving in a particular direction? Look at the trend.
Well, I think that
changes.
I think basically that there's a good chance we just range here for a while. This like low 80s to low 90s kind of area. I wouldn't be shocked if, like I said, we're choppy, but we do break down a little bit more. I wouldn't be shocked to see us get down to this like mid low 70s area. Anything below 70, yeah, I'm probably like starting to go, okay, like time to start thinking about, what moves we're going to make here. But like I said, honestly, like considering where we were right now, not too worried yet. I mean, and like I said, S is actually performing pretty strong against conditions. And like I said, TVL still flowing in. I mean, look at this heat map. I mean, nobody's nobody's going to be exactly doing numbers today. We just got to get through some of this macro stuff.
After that terrible ad, they're still up 3%, or they're still only down 3%. They should be down 10,000% after that ad, dude.
Yeah, we were talking about that before the show. Just how it is kind of like an odd,
too long, too boring.
I'm not really sure why anyone really needs to necessarily, when we're talking about, blockchain, crypto technology, I'm not really sure why any pandering is really needed on the line.
I want to build technology, not pronouns, which has gone real hard like 7 years ago.
Yeah,
it's kind of outdated at this point.
Well, and I guess why I'm saying the thing about like pandering is because there were people on the timeline that were saying, okay, well, here's an ad from this era, post COVID or whatever.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Like there was like different ads that basically they were kind of signaling two different things compared to this ad, but yeah, I mean it's just kind of like I don't really know why it's necessary at all. But hey, it is what it is. I guess. Does it make number go up? I don't know. It doesn't really look like it. But I mean, are you onboarding new people to crypto by making this ad? I doubt it.
I have no idea what the point of that ad was, to be honest. I have no idea who it was supposed to connect with. I mean, I guess I don't even really know where they're running it. So maybe it does have some appeal. Maybe they're targeting like boomers. They're targeting like heart clinics.
Heart clinics.
Where do boomers hang out? Yeah, like
boomers. That'd be a good one. I mean, I don't know. They're it says they have to spend the marketing. You got to spend that budget on something, or they're gonna slash your budget.
What is a little Illuminati here talking? Are you gonna play the new Abyss card trading game? I don't know what the heck that is.
Oh, that's just something I've seen on the timeline today. But apparently, a new project coming out soon, and but you know what? We're not here to talk about Abyss because we got somebody on the line here.
Oh, yeah, that's rude.
We got somebody on the line here who's going to talk about his project that we're very excited about. We touched on it a little bit last week with, Lewis just kind of like poking around, showing you how to use the MAGPIE incentivized swaps. And we're excited to have Ali here today. How are you doing, brother?
GM, doing well. Yeah, how about you guys?
Well, we're just hanging out, Ali. We're just hanging out. We're just trying to survive.
Yeah, just hanging out. But we were actually, like I said, giving MAGPIE a little love on Friday. But you guys have been busy. You getting ready for this this TGE going on. So what's been going on with you guys?
Yeah, things have been busy. We had a insanely positive pre-sale. So we've got another public sale round coming out, and it was overwhelmingly positive. Like we didn't quite expect the kind of response that we had from the community. I mean, we've been pushing for a lot of support. We've been building heads down, been live day one on Sonic mainnet. But yeah, we had a few hiccups with the pre-sale, and hoping that we don't make the same mistakes with the public sale. That's why we went with a whitelisted approach. But yeah, that's all on the sales side of things. But we've been really busy. Pushing out new product updates, new integrations super quietly. I'd love to talk about some of these integrations that are probably in apps that you use, but you don't quite realize. But yeah, all of these announcements will be coming out soon too.
Some stealth integrations, you're saying? Okay.
Building in silence.
Yeah.
Real gangster stuff you're doing there, Ollie. A little suspicious, but that's okay. Do you want me to throw it up on the screen here?
Yeah, let's do it. Just make sure that you can see all of my tabs. Is there a screen share?
Oh yeah, we got them all.
Yep, we got them.
All right.
Yeah, I'm super excited here. This TGE has some whitelisting going on, right?
Yeah, let me jump into the pre-sale and the whitelist stuff first, and I can walk you through the latest updates. So the pre-sale was a success, but I did feel like the entire team was a bit bittersweet about that, because we've been interacting closely with the community, with all of the builders in the space, and yeah, a lot of people kind of missed out on that. We had a non-whitelisted, fully open sale, and with this tweet is kind of what I posted right after the sale went off, which was like 9,000, 10,000 people tried to participate at the same time. Crashed the fjord systems in some senses, and so there was like 164 people that ended up participating, but a lot missed out, and they were obviously disappointed that happened. And so to kind of rectify this, we came up with the whitelist, because the whole idea with the sale, even though we've raised at different valuations, we are venture backed. We had a seed round, we had a bridge round, we had a private round. As we raised rounds at a higher valuation, and we'll be publishing some press releases that highlight that. The idea was that we get the community at the ground level, and we got all of our investors on board with that as well. And so to make sure that we take care of our people, we came up with a whitelist approach, where we whitelisted the top protocols within Sonic. So you think Shadow, you think Derps, you think Goggles, you think Eggs, you think all of the top protocols right now. We just want to make sure that we whitelist them, and we take an approach where everybody is able to participate. And yeah, we're going to be making an announcement as to when this public sale happens. And so yeah, so I appreciate the positive response and the interest that we had. And I want to make sure that everybody who is keen is able to participate in the next round. And yeah, we just want to make it right.
Yeah, I mean, that was one thing I guess I did notice on the first one was, it was like nobody got in. I think there was, if I remember right, there was kind of a false start where it threw some people for a loop because they were like trying to get in, but it turned out it hadn't started yet. And then, I mean, like you said here, I mean, that's crazy. 9,000 people were waiting to buy, so that's going to pretty much crash just about anything. So yeah, no, I think it's cool to do it this way, give people a fair shot, especially people that are interacting with protocols on Sonic, that wanted to get in on this. MAGPIE launched, if I remember, I mean, basically was day one on Sonic or close to it, and a lot of people use it. A lot of protocols have it integrated into their swaps. So yeah, I know that a lot of people are excited to be able to get their hands on it.
Yeah. Which is why I think the response from the community with the approach that we took with the whitelist is also pretty positive. And so yeah, well, the sale, the pre-sale, the public sale is fine. Really, the work began post that, and that's what I'm really excited to talk about. The stuff that we've been working on. We've been relatively quiet with the achievements that we've had, the integrations that we've made. And some of the things that I want to talk about, just to give you guys a sense of what it takes to build an aggregator. We've been building this for about 2.5 years. We took a different approach compared to a lot of the peers who were trying to solve for the cross-chain space. We had to pivot a bunch of times, but yeah, we've made it here, and I'm quite pleased with the level of success that we've had with the kind of tech that we have. We have a very clear winner in terms of aggregation. We're really the best price aggregator in the space currently. It's a proven business model, and so yeah, it's there's a lot of competition, but we've been doing quite well, and I'm honestly extremely optimistic about how this plays out over the course of the next couple of years, because this is not like we're not short-sighted with what we're doing. We've been building this for a while, got a decent-sized team, and we're going to be building this for the foreseeable future. So I'm a bit excited to share how and where we've been integrated. A lot of people might not have noticed. A lot of people might have. So I can dive right into it, unless you have any
No,
other
let's
questions.
let's hear about it, man.
All right, let's do it. So these are just some stats. We've done $4.7 billion in volume, and the number of swaps that we have, that's fine. We support 19 EVM chains, which is cool. But the way that we built, or the way that my CTO and co-founder is obsessed with aggregation, the way that he designed this system is that it's scalable in any direction, be it EVMs or non-EVMs. And I'll dive into how this kind of drives value back to the Sonic ecosystem and to Fly, our native token. But yeah, that's where we're at currently. We support over 19 chains, and adding more EVMs as they come out, adding more non-EVMs as well, just so that we can get our aggregator out there, get order flow, get volume, and as a consequence, get revenue. Talking about integrations, we've got over 30 integrations, but these are some of the protocols that you might be familiar with that we're integrated into. So if you've ever used Rabi on Sonic or other chains, you've probably used MAGPIE, whether or not you've realized it. Because like I said, we are a very competitive aggregator. We more often than not provide better pricing. And so especially when it comes to Sonic, you probably use MAGPIE indirectly if you haven't used this directly. We're into VFAT. I think a lot of people, I keep obsessing over transactions that happen through our router, and I've seen a lot of people that engage with Shadow with their liquidity positions. They kind of end up using MAGPIE in the mix because VFAT aggregates us as well. Shadow has integrated us, and yeah, we're gonna be back up on Shadow. We're currently not there yet, but we're just working on some exciting stuff there, and so you're gonna see us back up in the Shadows interface relatively soon. We partner with Heyanon. We got ourselves in on the goggles page. If your goggles have been staying on, you probably will be aware of that as well. We've been working with them, and so there's a lot of these integrations. These are relatively Sonic focused. Binance Wallet, I guess I just leaked some alpha. We haven't really announced this yet, but it's going to be out probably next week or maybe later this week, where you see this integration. And so yeah, we've been working with all of these partners. I've been pleased to be working with them. But a big reason why that is the case is because there's a lot of aggregators in this space, and the reason people choose to work with us is because, one, we have better pricing, and we are able to scale to new chains. We're able to scale to new liquidity sources, and so we're constantly adding. So something like an Express, just to give a Sonic ecosystem example, the exchange on Sonic, and we've aggregated them. Balancer V3, we've added support for them. Uni V4 in the works, and so we're always adding new liquidity sources because, no credit to me, but to my autistic aggregation obsessed co-founder and CTO, that he keeps adding these things, and he kind of is excited about new liquidity sources. And so yeah, these are some of the integrations. There's so many more in the works that that we'll be sharing as these come out. We'll be more vocal about some of these integrations. We've been keeping it low key, adding support where it goes. So yeah, that's and we also added cross-chain swaps to Sonic. So we've supported cross-chain swaps for a while, but you could go from, let's go from Arbitrum USDC to, let's go to S. Why not? So you can go from Arbitrum to Sonic. We do support cross-chain swaps. We didn't announce this. We just kind of released it. We've done some decent inflows into Sonic. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of these new features. I'll talk about what's next, but I'll pause there for you guys to don't know, give your thoughts, ask any questions, then I'll dive into a couple other things that I've got to share.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to see the cross chain, because I know that I guess starting out, I think it was just like Sonic native swaps. So that's nice to kind of like be able to like make it one stop kind of deal. You know, if you're like me, it's like I'm having to like do something with a bridge pretty much every single day. I keep just about everything on Sonic now, because, you know, there's so much DeFi and so many good opportunities. But yeah, that's exciting to be able to just go like cross chain straight into Sonic on MAGPIE. And yeah, I mean, you guys expanding your liquidity is of course important, since, you know, the more liquidity sources you have, the more potential for aggregating your swap and everything. So yeah, no, you guys have definitely been making some moves.
Yeah. So you guys are integrating like every major wallet pretty much?
Yeah, I mean, we had OKX in the works as well, but I don't know if you noticed recently they kind of paused their aggregator for a bit. But yeah, most of the major wallets, like Rabby is obviously one of the bigger ones, one of the earlier ones that supported us. But OKX in the works, obviously kind of changes with what they're kind of pausing of trading activity there. Some stuff with Binance Wallet's going to come out. Some wallet providers that I'm not at liberty to talk about yet. But the bottom line for us is we're focusing on distribution. So we know that we've got the tech. We know that because it's been validated by a lot of the partners we work with. They need a protocol and a project like ours that is willing to add support for new liquidity sources, adding support for new chains that can be harder to get access to. And so yeah, a lot of these things have been the reason why a lot of teams I've sort of gravitated towards working with us pretty closely. So yeah, more wallet integrations coming out, more dApp integrations that are in the works as well.
And yeah, I see there at the bottom, for anyone that wasn't here on Friday, I don't know of any other aggregator that's like actively incentivizing these like swaps, kind of like campaigns like you guys are, this boost campaign. So wondering if you can go into that a little bit.
Yeah, let's do it. And so the boost campaign, the whole idea is that we incentivize users to both explore the Sonic ecosystem. We will expand this to other chains, but being we're Sonic native, Sonic is our home. This is where we begin, and this is where honestly the most DeFi stuff is happening. And so what we've done with the boost campaign is that we're incentivizing users to. So we started with like a rings protocol specific campaign where we incentivize people to swap into SCUSD, SCETH. That we decided to add depositing into Euler, like SCETH vaults, SCUSD vaults. And so for every action that you take within the boost page, you are incentivized to do that through whatever points that you see on the page. And so you can open one up and you can see the different partner rewards that you have and details on how that works. Plus, you've got MAGPIE eggs, not to be confused with X Finance, which is something that I'm a huge fan of. But we've got these MAGPIE eggs that will be convertible into our native token. And so the best part, if you miss the pre-sale or if you miss the public sale, or if you just want to trade, and if you trade, this is probably the best way for you to participate within MAGPIE protocol, because we want to incentivize people utilizing our platform. And the way our aggregation works, we aggregate not only different assets, but we also aggregate liquidity pools. And so you can go into an LP position. You can deposit into a silo vault, so you can deposit your STS into a silo vault, and so that's you can basically do pretty much everything. And again, there's so many partnerships that we've got lined up that that want to leverage the fact that you can go from whatever asset that you have and deposit into a 4626 vault, and this vault then generates yield for you in the way that it does. And so yeah. So we're incentivizing this. This is, in some ways, even for us, is a learning curve. We're incentivizing people through these campaigns, but this spills over into our tokenomics, which is, again, something that is pretty novel and new. Well, again,
that's crazy.
I'll about that.
You know, just to touch on that real fast, I mean, that's crazy. Like, you straight out of MAGPIE, like you were basically able to deposit right in the silo.
Yeah, you can actually practically deposit into any silo vault. Yeah. We're incentivizing this particular vault because we incentivize people to buy STS, and then you what do you do with STS? Of course, it's a yield-bearing asset because it's a LST for Sonic, so you should hold STS, but you can also deposit in an extra yield. And you can practically do this with any silo vault. We're not incentivizing it yet, but yeah, and the same thing that goes with depositing into lending protocols like Euler. And we're going to do this with other protocols. We're going to add more assets. And the more exciting thing is we're going to have like trading campaigns, incentivized campaigns where we run like 48-hour competitions. Well, I would love to do that with goggles. I'm a proud holder as well. And so you kind of incentivize people to participate, to buy in to the asset, to trade the asset, and you get incentivized to do that because MAGPIE as a protocol is all about both aligning incentives and driving revenue, which ultimately flows back to stakeholders.
Well, you're getting some alpha there. So yeah, that sounds pretty awesome to get incentivized for, even just like, on top of the boosts, you have like a token you like trading, or, even if you're just going to make a buy or a sell, go over there and do it and still get like some extra incentives. And I mean, that's kind of what's been happening on Sonic that we were talking about was, it's crazy the amount, like, not only is it the best chain for DeFi right now in terms of just yields and opportunities, but almost everywhere there's, anywhere you go, it's like you're earning extra points for like an airdrop, or, you're earning extra points to like, stack a multiplier for a future token, or, there's stuff going on everywhere at all times. It's like just using the chain is like just giving users like so much right now.
Yeah, every
100%.
step of the way.
So yeah, it sounded like you were about to go into, you'd mentioned this before the show, kind of like some of the V3 stuff going on with the token, and definitely want to hear about that.
Yeah, this has been a bit of a passion for me, and for the rest of the team as well. We've been trying to figure out, we're an aggregator, and so aggregation in general is a proven business model. You aggregate liquidity, you get the best prices for the users, and kind of make a fee off on the top of that. And with our token model, we took inspiration from Andre conceived as like the VE33 model. And so that worked really well for liquidity provisioning and improving overall trading efficiency, because the better or the more liquidity that you have, the easier it is to trade any asset. What we're trying to do is learn from that, from VE33, from X33, from what Shadow has done, which I believe is so exciting what these guys have done. And I think a lot of people have not caught on the and how effective and how massive that is. But me personally, super excited about what they've done, and we've taken inspiration from that. And so everything you've seen with Shadow, or with other solidly based decks or any other VE33 style decks, is that liquidity providers are incentivized with tokens to drive liquidity. We're taking the same thing, but we're incentivizing trading. And so this is the snippets of a thread that I haven't posted yet. I'll be publishing this perhaps after this podcast. But the core idea is that we incentivize trading activity. And so effective ways to incentivize LPs and stakeholders have largely been solved with a VE33 model. I could go into the background of the Curve VE model and the Olympus 3.3 model. I kind of spare that for now. It will be included in my thread in the blog post that I publish. But the bottom line is that liquidity providers have been crucial to driving trading activity. But trading activity is an action that hasn't been appropriately incentivized because it is difficult to do that. And us as an aggregator, that's the only thing that matters. We're an aggregator. We route transactions. We allow you to go from one asset to another. We allow you to lend. We allow you to deposit into different kinds of vaults. We're the execution engine, and our pricing and execution is the best. Again, provably so. Don't say things for saying them. We'll be publishing some of these code comparison simulation reports as well. But the whole idea for us is that we want to put incentives in the hands of people who actually want to trade, and also people who are participating in the XFly mechanics will be able to vote on assets that they really want to trade. And so when people are incentivized to trade specific assets, which has outcomes like subsidized trading, so you're spending less money that you otherwise would have spent on price impact because it's less liquidity, or slippage because liquidity is just not sufficient on a particular liquidity source. And so we're trying to incentivize people to trade. And when we do that as an aggregator, more incentives means more volume means more revenue. And so that kind of how it flows back into the whole flywheel. The more trading incentives means more trading volume, which means more protocol fees and vote incentives. This is actually a crucial part. Who needs more volume? Token issuers, especially new token issuers, be it a meme coin or be it an LST and LRT, any new token that's coming out, they want it to be lucrative. This is why they go to DEXs. They try to work with emissions, get more liquidity in, and then they want people to trade their asset, be it buy or sell, whatever it may be. They want people to trade their asset. And MAGPIE kind of acts as that middleware where we incentivize people to do exactly that. And where does that leave Fly stakers? And so Fly is our native token. People lock up Fly, get X Fly. Again, imagine Shadow. If you're familiar with it, you have Shadow, kind of lock up Shadow to get X Shadow. That gives you voting power. Some of this stuff can be complex. I'm going to try and simplify this as much as possible, but the core idea remains. This is an excellent visual these guys have presented. I'm going to have some of this stuff inspired from them when I publish the blog post. But you've got a shadow, you convert a shadow to X shadow, take them, and now you vote for emissions on specific pools, and then you earn the fees that are generated from voting on that specific pool. That's exactly what we're doing, but we're not doing it for liquidity sources. We're doing it for trading assets. And so it's geared towards traders, and the more traders realize the value prop of this, there's more volume, and then XFly has more XFly voters have more incentive because emissions would ideally be directed to token issuers. I don't know if that makes sense. Am I making sense to you guys?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's an interesting model to, typically, you're voting on liquidity pools to, which pools you want to get emissions for the liquidity you're providing. So you're saying here that basically instead of, directing emissions to liquidity pools, you'll be directing emissions to, you'll be voting on which assets you want to earn based on trading volume. Which is, it's super interesting. I don't think I've ever heard of that before. So is there kind of a similar rebase system to exit, or do you guys have more of just a
correct
6-month lock, and, it's locked up and then you can vest to get out?
No, it's a similar system, because what Shadow's done is pretty effective. We're likely to have shorter lockups because we don't. And again, this would also be subject to. We'll be working very closely with a lot of the power users of the current MAGPIE users that move a lot of volume. A lot of investors, backers that have vested interest in the protocol. We'll be working pretty closely with them to kind of optimize our system, because this hasn't been done before. It's tricky. There's a lot of moving parts that you have to account for, but the core idea remains. What we want to do is incentivize early backers. We want to incentivize people who both understand the system and are keen on participating in the beginning. This is the case with any kind of VE model, is that early and loyal participants are rewarded over the longer term. And that's really what we're trying to do with this. And so it's going to be pretty similar to what Shadow with the X33 model has done, which is to have both. And so I'm just going to share this with you. I was kind of debating whether or not I should share this because it's not final. I'm going to have an updated version of this, but this is fairly similar to what Shadow does as well. Users like Fly holders will be able to convert them to XFly. They can stake them, which gives them voting rights to vote on specific assets. They can redeem them in the same way, or exit in the same way that they would be able to exit with Shadow. And there will also be a liquid stake version, which is X33. I feel like this is probably more valuable in our case because voting for emissions is something more interesting for people who are trading significant amounts, and they're like, okay, this is a token that I either own or I want to position in, and I want to drive some incentives to do that because it subsidizes my cost as a trader to do that. And so the X33 aspect of what Shadow does I think that's going to be more exciting for a lot of people who might not want to be active participants in both staking and voting. But yeah, the same principle applies, but you kind of move that over to from LPs to traders, and there are some additional kinks that you kind of have to accommodate because it's not really the same fundamental thing. Liquidity provision is different from trading, but yeah, this is really the core of what we're trying to do. I think, obviously, I'm biased. I'm excited about this. I've had positive feedback from folks that get these things, but I'm quite excited to work with people who see the value in this kind of a model, who want to be early participants, help us shape this in the way that's ideal. Yeah, that's kind of what it is.
Wow, man. Yeah, that's like I said, it's pretty interesting concept, and I think that'll like heavily benefit people that use you guys every day. I'm imagining that people that are more accustomed to like staking their liquidity, will you guys kind of have like a liquidity hub for like your actual like liquidity, like on Shadow or something, or will you be like hosting that yourselves as well?
No, we're not. We're just going to refrain from hosting any liquidity. We want to stick true to our roots, focus on aggregation, focus on execution of trades. We're going to be working with Shadow, with other top dexes on Sonic as well. But yeah, we're not going to host any for our liquidity, at least as things stand. We're going to work with protocols that have that are kind of solved or are good at liquidity provision, and we focus on our niche, where it's a very niche approach to what we're doing, and I think we can succeed if we focus on one thing. So
for sure, and I think that's that's good for holders too, where it's kind of like if you are hosting on other dexes, then that's still other like token earning opportunities and all that stuff that you can get compared to like if you're maybe not like a heavy trader. So yeah, that's kind of like a win-win really. So yeah, man, this is all tell you guys put a lot of time into this. It's definitely unique. So when is the this public whitelist kind of sale?
The public sale is for Thursday, actually technically Friday my time. It'll probably be Thursday for a lot of people because I'm in the Middle East. So it's gonna be Thursday, Friday. So people in Asia, it's gonna be Friday morning. Thursday for others. We'll be announcing this tonight. So it's like close to 48 hours from now, or about 48 hours. That's when we're gonna have the public sale.
Yeah, so it's coming this week. Yeah, that's good news.
This week. Yeah.
Well, awesome, man. Well, yeah, we appreciate you coming on and sharing all this. A lot of exciting stuff. And is there anything else you'd like to add here?
Nothing else. Super open to any kind of feedback you guys have. We'd love to chat, be it feedback on the model, on the product, or anything really. We're trying to build this. Like I said, we've been working on this for a long time, and we're building this for you guys. So we're working hard to get distribution. So let us know. Let me know personally. Let me know on Twitter. Let me know anywhere that you want. We're here. I'm chronically online. Can't help it. It's a disease.
Yeah, and I guess everyone should be on the lookout for that thread dropping with all these details. Be sure to check that out and share it around. Well, yeah, man, always a pleasure to have you on. We appreciate your time, and I'm sure everybody else does as well. And we will see you at the sale.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me on. Cheers.
Yep, take care.
Competition's heating up, Drac.
It is, man. Everybody's getting their stuff together, ready to go to war.
Yeah, MAGPIE's kind of crazy, dude. They got their fingers in a lot of MAGPIEs. You know what I'm saying, dude? They're all over the place.
Yeah, I mean that was there's MAGPIE, and then there was another Fjord sale coming up from another heavy hitter.
Oh my God,
Stable Jack.
I've talked to this guy.
I think. Well, yeah, they've been on the show. I believe it was a while ago, but they came on closer to Sonic launch.
I met Mr. Jack himself.
Yeah, you met Jack in the flesh, but
he's just like that. He's huge.
He's 7 foot tall. But yeah, that's another one coming up. I guess 26. So that's next week. So check that one out too. I guess we'll probably have to bring them back on so they can talk about what they're working on.
We should bring both MAGPIE and Jack on a week after the Jack sale and say whose sale went better.
Yeah.
Why was your sale better?
Tell us. So yeah, that's also coming up. And this was right before the show. Well, I saw it right before the show started. I think this kind of was like last night, but Sonic has reached 250 million in USDCE via Circle's bridged standard.
Wow.
Which big news, honestly. They've done a lot on the network to incentivize USDCE because when you're doing that with Circle, they want to see certain numbers hit and metrics and all that stuff. And you get through all that and they give you the okay and give you that official Circle USDC that, obviously that opens the doors for a lot of other things, being accepted on a lot of the exchanges, a lot of the like on and off ramps. So they've been really grinding on that. And I think it was a good play, but they had a little post about it. Circle said, "Hello, Sonic." So I think that's a good look, right? We got a hello. We got to start somewhere. We got hello.
But isn't it kind of funny that like Sonic has to do like this like quest line, like they have to do like a bunch of like reach milestones and like use this fucking temp token. Like Sonic like Circle just listed dog in meme coin and delisted like peanut or whatever. They're just doing whatever the hell over there. Why can't they just
Well, I guess if you're if you're mixing Coinbase with Circle, but
I guess
like, Circle itself, is just, overseeing USDC. But yeah, I mean, I agree with that to an extent where it's like, some people got to go through the hoops and some people kind of don't. But regardless, I think it's smart to play the game, make it happen. There's really not actually that many networks that have like the true Circle USDC. And it opens up, doors on things like Coinbase. I was telling you before the show, I would definitely love for there to be Sonic USDC accepted on Coinbase because I accidentally sent a large chunk of USDC on Sonic to Coinbase. So if you guys could figure that out, that would be really great for my my deposit there.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully that works for you. I think it's too late for all my Phantom USD.
I don't think Phantom's gonna hit Coinbase at this point, unfortunately. So yeah, I'll cross my fingers for that. I've accepted, my fate that it's pretty much lost. But regardless, whether I get that back or not, it would definitely be nice to be able to shoot USDC over straight from Sonic, onto like somewhere that you're off ramping.
Well, pretty soon, I have the feeling you won't even need to off ramp, dude. You'll just conduct all financial activity directly through the Sonic blockchain.
That's the dream. It seems like that's what we're moving towards. Andre
came to me in a dream last night and told me that's what's going to happen. That's the final stage of the Sonic project.
But yeah,
too much.
That's mostly what we got today. We reserved most of the episode for MAGPIE because they said they had a lot of updates. So that's what we're looking at for today. We appreciate you guys hanging out. We're here Tuesday and Friday. Tuesdays at 10 a.m. EST, Fridays at noon, because on Fridays we'll typically have our friend Luis joining us, and he's on Pacific Standard Time, so there's a big gap there, so we have to push it a little later. But yeah, we will be back on Friday, and we will catch you guys then.
Peace.
GMSONIC is Corval and Dracula Presley. GM.